Brad Stevens has done a fantastic job once again as he has been filling out this roster for the Celtics perfectly with addressing a need that they desperately needed in Miles Norris, another lengthy wing that could bring some bona fide untapped potential for this Celtics roster. So we're going to dive in. We're going to be looking at what Miles Norris could potentially bring for this Celtics team and the potential of him in green. Welcome back to Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez with my boy Nick NBA. And Nick, glad to have you back on the channel. How you been, my guy?
What's good, my boy? I'm straight. How you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, and I'm glad to break down some Miles Norris. I know you have done a little bit of research yourself, and I definitely wanted to get a video of us two kind of talking and breaking down, looking at some nice film and going over him as well. So let's definitely get into this and break it down. So for all you guys, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and let us know your thoughts down below on Miles Norris, down below in the comment section. But let's get into this as this is a nice move made by the Boston Celtics as we saw them go out and shockingly kind of make this move post win on Sunday, but they went out and picked up Miles Norris and decided to waive a player in Anton Watson. And Miles Norris, when looking at his stats, Nick, is a pretty solid player, averaged around 17 points this season. What have you really seen from him from the G League, where he's played for the College Park Skyhawks and for the Memphis Hustle?
All right, so the first thing that pops on the page is shooting the three ball. In college, so he played 4 years of college. He started at Oregon. He committed to Oregon. He wasn't playing that much as a freshman. He was on the team with Peyton Pritchard, so there's a little bit of a connection there. But then he went to UC Santa Barbara for 3 years, and those 3 years there, he shot 38% from three, 36% from three, and 39% from three. Then the G League last season with Skyhawks, Skyforce, Skyhawks. Yeah.
Skyhawks, yes.
He shot 38% from three there, and in this season he was shooting 39% from three. With the Memphis Hustle. So he's a guy that can shoot, but he's a shooter with size. Kind of like we have a Sam Hauser who's like 6'8". He's a great shooter. There are some sites that say that Miles is 6'7". Miles Norris is not 6'7". There's a draft net thing that says he's 6'10". I think Basketball Reference has him at 6'9", 6'10". But if you just look at him play the game, you can just see that he's not 6'7". He's taller than 6'7". So he's a guy that he's a shooter with size. I watched the game against the Warriors G League team. And he has some like MPJ type qualities where he's a guy that doesn't see contest, right? He can shoot with size, and he's a guy that can rise up over guys. As far as putting the ball on the floor, he's not a guy that's going to put the ball on the floor too much, but he did show me some like quick, short area handle. He's athletic as hell. So he's a shooter and he's athletic. He has some big finishes at times, can poster people, stuff like that. On the defense side of the ball, there was not a lot of reps that I've seen where he was getting blown by. He is not the quickest laterally, but his size and his length can make up for some of that as he can block shots if he's behind somebody. But I do like this pickup for the Celtics. He is 24, I believe. So he's an older guy like a Shireman. But I believe at his size and the skill set that he brings, being an athletic shooter, I think his player comp is MPJ. He's not the rebounder that MPJ is, but they're both guys that aren't like laterally quick, but they have size to contest shots. They are guys that can shoot the ball, shoot the lights out, and can be athletic at the rim.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that you brought up some great points about our boy Miles and really kind of illustrated for the fans what he truly can be for this Celtics team, like we kind of mentioned. And I think for the Celtics here, some things that you kind of hit home that we kind of got to look back at are one, that he played with Peyton Pritchard, right? So this was only just one season, but it is still good to know that he played with Peyton Pritchard and someone who has a pretty good repertoire and relationship in this organization as well. He's stayed long term, has been able to work long with this squad and ensure himself a contract extension. And Joe Mazzulla also mentioned that the Celtics signed Miles Norris for his length, his athleticism, his showing of a decent size to shoot the ball, all stuff that Nick has been able to provide for us in his game, but also adds that he's someone that Peyton Pritchard also vouched for as they were college
Mm.
teammates. So not only just that, but has a good personal relationship. And Patrick and I kind of talked about this. I believe it was yesterday during the live stream or during the video, but Peyton Pritchard has also mentioned that he likes to go up against some European talent, some of his old ex teammates. And a guy like Miles Norris played in Turkey. So maybe a guy like Miles Norris was one of
Mm.
those, kind of talented players that Peyton Pritchard used to use to work in the offseason to get better with his game. And he used that relationship to ultimately help Norris get a spot with this Boston Celtics team as well, which I think would be very, very solid and shows a great relationship on how they can build off the court, but also on the court. And Norris also said he did a draft workout with the Celtics in 2023 and feels like his big performances versus Maine caught their attention, seeing he did pretty
Mm.
well against their main squad. You mentioned, obviously, he's a guy that can shoot the ball, he can dunk the ball, he can be a pretty solid shot blocker as well. I saw a clip of him where he was just coming flying in and just getting a late block on a late contest on a layup from somebody. I've seen him get some cool dunks from some behind the back passes. Ultimately, when you see Miles Norris for this Celtics team, Nick, what do you really expect for him to really bring out? Do you think he's a guy that could earn himself for this Celtics rotation? Do you think he's just a two-way guy? Do you think he's just an evaluation guy for the Celtics at this point?
I would lean more towards a two-way and evaluation type guy. I don't think he's gonna come in here and carve out a role. If he does, like, great, but I don't think he's gonna carve out a role. I think this is like Toy Craig next season. So if Craig isn't like if the Celtics don't like bring back Toy Craig, then you'll have Jordan Walsh, then you'll have him. So it's just like trying to improve the end of that bench, the crew that was really good last season, and we did lose a little bit of some talent on the end of that bench with Fee leaving and stuff like that. So and O'Shea, so it's fine. I don't think he's gonna be a guy that comes in here and like carves out a role. If he does, I think his time will be predicated on if he hits his first two shots or not. Like he's not a guy that's gonna make plays defensively, but he is a solid cutter. So that's where a lot of his like high flying stuff comes from. He is a solid cutter. So I think it'll be like when Sam Hauser first like kind of started playing. If he hits his first couple of shots, then he gets high. You know what I'm saying? Then he can be effective. But I do like the player. I do like his size and his skill set at that size. But I don't expect him to be something great right out the jump.
Yeah, I kind of figured that he wasn't going to be right, like something to expect to be impactful right away, but at least someone to kind of value in and kind of invest in is always nice to see. We kind of discussed this earlier, but maybe the Celtics felt that with Anton Watson, they had some of those bigger kind of wings already and felt like they needed to add some more size as a replacement for Torrey Craig or another guy on that wing like Jordan Walsh to add some extra size. And for that shooting, I think it could be very valuable. I think a great connection of Sam Hauser, very similar to like his early careers, looking back to a season or 2 seasons ago where he would just sporadically kind of sit in the corner, wait for that opportunity to get his jump shot going and kind of get into that flow. I think if Norris were to see the rotation or something like that, that's a similar role that he would be playing. And who knows? Potentially tonight he could finally crack that rotation as the
Yeah.
Celtics are short-handed tonight. They have no Jrue Holiday, no Kristaps Porziņģis, no Al Horford, most likely no Jaylen Brown, and Jayson Tatum and Sam Hauser are both questionable, which does
Ah,
leave a lot of options open for this
okay.
Celtics team. So who knows? Maybe a guys like Miles Norris. I definitely expect Torrey Craig, Jordan Walsh, Namish Queta, Luke Cornett to get some expended minutes tonight. But who knows? Maybe a guy like Norris or potentially Peterson or JD could get some extended run tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know that Hauser was also on the injury report. So I kind of hope don't none of them play at this point. I hope like I knew Brown was out. I knew Drew. I knew KP. You said Horford too.
Yes.
Okay, I knew Tatum was questionable. I didn't know Hauser was on it because if Tatum and Brown don't play and Hauser plays, he's obviously that guy that becomes the starter. But if Hauser don't play, then it become really a thing where like it might be some people. So I'm expecting a little bit of Shyman. I'm expecting some Jordan Walsh. Norris could this could be fun. This actually could be fun. So yeah, but if they do put Shyman in, bro, don't sit him in the corner. Don't sit him in the corner. Let him have the ball. Let him pass the rock a little bit. But nah, yeah, this should be interesting, man. I'm excited to watch this game. I like when the Celtics like top players aren't playing, and that we can see as Celtics fans like the rest of our team, and especially since these guys are pretty young, except for Craig and Cornette shit like Walsh, who I thought played great last night. Only had 3 points, but he had 6 rebounds. He had like 2 Tommy points. Like he was hustling. So I am excited to see these guys, and I hope Norris can get a little bit of time.
No, I agree. I think you kind of hit it on the nail there. I love when we get to see these young guys kind of develop in these games like this, specifically a team versus Sixers as well, who's looking to be towards the bottom now, has some injuries, not being playing as many guys. Let the young guys just run it out. The Celtics don't need to win this game. It's not a must win. Just let the guys like Walsh, Shireman just experiment, get some comfortability underneath their legs, kind of figure out their roles, and showcase to the fans what potential these guys truly do have. And I totally agree. Let Shireman at least be able to create something with the ball, getting something in the playmaking, maybe even having him run some actions while running some point guard because we've seen him do pretty solid as a ball handler in the G League, and I think that could also help his growth in this NBA as well for something that fans necessarily don't really see, but obviously not like as a major key piece, just as like a secondary ball handler and stuff. But I want to say thank you so much, Nick, for coming on to the channel today for discussing this on Miles Norris, and we'll definitely be seeing you more in the future, breaking down more Celtics news. So guys, definitely go check out Nick as well over on YouTube. He just released a Celtics video today breaking down Peyton Pritchard and Derrick White absolutely going off in that game last night. So you definitely want to go check that one out, breaking down all those knickknacks, and definitely follow him on Twitter as well. But we'll be signing off on this video from Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez with my co-host Nick NBA. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day and go Boston Celtics.
Yes, sir.